Hi, and welcome to Chapter 4, Business English, Mastering Nouns and Pronouns. Here we're going to look at all that's got to do with nouns and pronouns. So we're going to look at the plural forms, nouns and pronouns, the possessive forms, nominative and objective forms. So let's take a look at what we got. So plural nouns, right? If writing must be precise form of communication, Mr. Bernstein says, it should be treated like a precision instrument, should be sharpened, and it should not be used carelessly, as I just did. So English certainly has a lot of rules and regulations when it comes to, or agreements, I should say. So let's take a look at some. If you look at here, it says each has its own distinct meaning and use. Customers is a plural. Customers is a singular possessive. And customers is a plural possessive. So those are three things that you have to realize that how to write things down when you have the S at the end of customers or any noun. Right? So essential principles of forming plurals of nouns, right? Plurals of common nouns add S to most common nouns to form their plurals. Here are some examples. Add ES to nouns that end in S and to form their plurals. Some examples here. So you can stop and look and read every single example that's there. So plurals of proper nouns. Add S to most proper nouns to form their plurals. As you can see, if you're talking about a family, all you have to do is add an S. Add ES, again, same thing if the nouns end in S and so on. So plurals of compound nouns, as you can see below, a compound noun is a noun that consists of two or more words. That's what you have to remember. So bulletin board is two words. Bulletin boards is singular, is plural, I should say. Mother-in-law, singular. Mothers-in-law, plural. Here are some more exceptions for plural nouns. Okay, so plurals of common nouns ending in Y. So add S to form a plural if there is a vowel immediately before the Y. Some examples are alloy, alloys, key, keys. Change the Y to I and add ES if there's a consonant immediately before the Y. Territory, territories. Company, companies. All right, and there are exceptions to the rule. So here is checkup number 1, and doing the exercise that is online. Just fill in what it says. Check the following sentences for the correct use of plurals. Write OK if a sentence is correct, and write wrong, and try to correct it if it's deemed wrong. All right, so let's continue. Here also are singular abbreviations that you need to know. And also plurals with apostrophes. The T's and F's on the page are unclear. The receptionist calls all CODs for our office. So in some situations, the apostrophe is used to form a plural. Use an apostrophe plus S to form plurals. So there's your apostrophe right there to form right there, right? And to form plurals of lower cases and lowercase abbreviations. There are some examples. And here are singular and plural exceptions where they don't take S's. There's not many, but here are some. All right, and now you can pause the screen and do checkup 2. Check the following sentences for the correct use of plurals. Write OK if a sentence is correct, and try to correct the ones that you deem not correct. Now we look at plurals of nouns ending in O. Add S to form the plural of nouns ending in O preceded by a vowel. Some examples are studio, studios, video, videos. Add ES to form the plural of nouns ending in O preceded by a consonant. Motto, mottos. Tomato, tomatoes. Potato, potatoes. Right? Very simple rule. Plurals of nouns ending in F or FE. To form plurals of some nouns ending in F or FE, simply add S. Some examples are plaintiff, plaintiffs, proof, proofs. In other cases, change the F or FE to V and add ES. Some examples are shelf, shelves, half, halves. right? So you can pause the screen and you can do checkup number 3. Write the correct plural forms of the following nouns. If necessary, consult a dictionary. You can pause the screen. Borrowed plurals, singular plural. And here you can see that they're completely different. Addendum, addendum, addenda. All the way down to axis and axis, or bacterium is singular. A lot of people don't know that, and bacteria is plural. Basis, basis. That's a very tough one that you should remember. And crisis, crisis. Also, it sounds the same, but it is not written down the same. And also datum and data. Datum is singular, data is plural. So English and foreign plurals, here are some extra ones that you can take a look at. And when you have a chance, you can pause the screen and check the following sentences for the correct use of plurals. Write OK if the sentence is correct. Let's keep going. So nouns and pronouns, possessive forms. Now, what is a possessive noun or possessive form of a noun? The possessive forms of nouns and pronouns is used to show ownership. That's why it says you possess, right? Errors in the use of the possessive form of nouns and pronouns are very common and noticeable. So here, let's take a look at. So adding an apostrophe plus S, a noun that does not end in S. An example is the man's portfolio and the woman's report on my desk, right? A singular noun ending in S, one witness's comment was especially effective. As you can see there, the S at the end makes it possessive. Nouns used before a gerund. A gerund is a verb form that ends in ing and is used as a noun. A noun or pronoun used immediately before a gerund must be the possessive. Some here are examples. Harry's proofreading. Proofreading is a noun. Harry's, possessive, right? Apostrophe S. We are unaware of Nancy's leaving early. Leaving is the noun, right? Nancy's, apostrophe S, makes it possessive. Next checkup, here you go. Check the following sentences for any errors in the use of possessives. Rewrite the sentence if it contains errors. Now, possessive forms of personal pronouns, here you go. Nominative, I, possessive, my. Nominative, you, possessive, your. And all the way down to they is nominative, possessive is their or theirs. All right, so theirs and theirs, right? This is a huge mistake done by a lot of people a lot of times. Your and whose and whose. So take a look at that. Take the time to read exactly where you stand with theirs versus theirs, your versus you are, your. Theirs at the top, there is, theirs, and there is with apostrophe, your, you are. And the last one, whose and who is. So that's a big difference there. The possessive form of the relative pronoun who is whose. Whose is a contraction that means who is or who has. And again, a little checkup. Very, very important to do these checkups. Check the following sentence for any errors in the use of possessive personal pronouns. And we'll move on to nominative and objective forms. Here we go. A pronoun is a noun that lost its amateur status. Oh, that's cool. It's a cool saying. Right, so case forms. The term case refers to the form of a pronoun. The case of a pronoun shows how it relates to others in a sentence. Right, so nominative case, subject, follow that these three rules for using nominative pronouns. Number one is subject of a verb. And if a pronoun is subject to a verb, that pronoun must be nominative. Number two is complement of being verb, of being verb. The being verbs are am, is, are, and so on. If a pronoun follows and completes the meaning of a being verb, that pronoun must be nominative, right? As you can see there. Pronoun completes the infinitive. If a pronoun follows the completes the meaning of the infinitive verb to be, when to be has no subject, that pronoun must be nominative. So the patients here, the patients appear to be they or them. There's no noun or pronoun immediately before the infinitive verb to be. Therefore, the use the nominative form is they. The patients appear to be they. Here's a little checkup for you. Check the following sentences. Have any errors and use of pronouns. Write OK if the sentence is correct. Also, here's infinitives, subjects of infinitives. Use the objective case pronoun forms for subjects of infinitives. Ken wants us to travel to England. Us is the subject of the infinitive verb to travel. Us to travel, right? And a noun or pronoun precedes to be. Use the objective case pronoun following the infinitive verb to be when a noun or a pronoun immediately proceeds to be. Here's an example. When she first answered the telephone, Eva thought Robert to be me. The noun Robert immediately precedes the infinitive verb to be. Therefore, the objective form me is correct. And you could stop and do checkup number 2 here. Let's move on. Pronouns in compound subjects or compound objects. So what are they? Compound subjects and compound objects are nouns and pronouns joined by the coordinating conjunctions or, and, or nor. So when you see those words, right away you know they are compound. When the pronoun is part of the subject, use the nominative case. When the pronoun is part of an object, use the objective case. Here are some examples. Nominative, Ken and I. Objective and objects for Kevin and me. Right? There's a difference. Miss Royce and he asked Mrs. Royce and him. She and I, written by her and me. They and we agree with them on us. And us, I should say. Right? So pronoun phrases also, when faced with a pronoun choice in phrases such as we supervisors or us supervisors, remove the noun following the pronoun and test the sentence with the pronoun. An example is, we, us supervisors met with the union delegates. Remove the noun supervisors and then say, we met with, or say us met with, and you'll know the correct one is we in this case. Right? So a little trick there. Next checkup. Check the following sentences for any errors in the use of pronouns based upon what you just heard. And almost there. Pronouns ending in self. Pronouns ending self, such as myself and yourself. Right? Pronouns ending in self provide emphasis. Some examples are Suzanne herself announced the competition results. This is more emphatic than Susan announced the competition. So it's just to add some intensive or some more emphasis on the Susan. Reflexive use, pronouns that end in self, refer to a noun or another pronoun that has already been used in the sentence. Here's an example. The owners paid themselves. So you can see the verb separates owners and themselves, a cash bonus. This is reflexive. I apologize, it's reflexive. So common errors, a lack of clear antecedent. A pronoun that ends in self must have a clear antecedent within the sentence. So antecedent is the noun or noun phrase that is referred to by the pronoun. So in this case, owners, and in this case, Suzanne are antecedents, right? So misplacing that, a pronoun must be placed correctly in a sentence. So here is checkup 4. So this is a very short and sweet chapter on pronouns, and here's a little case for you to do. How will Michael explain the necessary corrections to Ashla? Why do you keep the applicants for the team leader position were given a written test, right? So we'll do that, and we'll end with chapter 4, and we'll move on to chapter 5 on our next video. Thank you.